Good morning, Deer Valley Elementary students and teachers. Today is Monday, March 25th, 2013. Today for lunch, we are having country fried steak, mashed potatoes and gravy, green beans, fruit, and a veggie medley. Our announcements today are as follows. Next week is spring break. Wahoo! I know you're all excited. Make sure you remember that we will not have school at all next week. This Friday, we will have a very special assembly at 1:30 p.m. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you will be very happy. Teachers, please check your emails for faculty updates. Lastly, we have a banner in the hallway for Mr. Cook, thanking him for all he has done for our school. As many of you know, he will be leaving at the end of the week. So if you have a chance, stop by in the hall and sign his banner. Okay, everyone, that's all for today. Have a wonderful day, and please stand for the national anthem and then the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, class. Please be seated. Make sure you're sitting in your morning groups. I wanted to add a few more announcements. As you know, the weather is warming up. I want to remind you of a few of the rules we have here at school. Remember that your scooters and your bikes need to be locked up outside of the school. You cannot bring them in the doors. Once again, some of you may want to wear hats as the weather gets warmer, or sunglasses, but you're not allowed to bring hats or sunglasses to school. Also, coming up in a few weeks is White Ribbon Week. The PTA will be putting that on, so some of your parents are actually involved. I just want to remind you to pay attention to all the activities that we will be doing regarding cyber safety. It's really important. Learn everything that you can. Make sure you collect your tickets for the raffle, and remind your parents about the meeting Thursday night here at the school from 7 to 8:30 p.m. I will be giving you a little reminder paper, but please try to remember to give it to your parents today when you get home. Now, who is going to be my helpers today? I need two helpers. Any volunteers? Okay, Chris and Amanda, you'll be the teacher helpers today. You'll be in charge of passing out papers and collecting papers. I also need someone for recess duty and for trash duty. Okay, James, you have recess duty. Any of you that want to check out any recess equipment such as basketballs, soccer balls, footballs, or maybe jump ropes, you need to check that out through James right before recess. And then Emily, you will be on trash duty when we leave for lunch, and when we leave for second recess, you will go with me and we will empty the trashes. All of you get one extra point today. I also wanted to tell you that we're going to have a sub on Wednesday, only for the afternoon. So I'll be here in the morning, but I just wanted to give you a heads up. I don't know who the sub is, but it will be a former fourth grade teacher, so we should be good. I'll let you know what we're doing Wednesday morning so that there won't be any confusion. Now we are going to get into our math groups. We're going to go over some fractions, and then after that have a quick science review before we go to PE class today. Please get up out of your desk, grab your math folder, your pencil, and your eraser, and move into your math groups. That's getting a little loud in here. No talking. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, good job. Don't forget, if I get down to 1 and I still hear you talking, you will lose one of your free minutes at the end of the day. Right now you have 5 free minutes. I don't want to take away any of your free time, so please move quietly. Okay, we're going to be talking about fractions today. How many of you remember what fractions are? Okay, that's good. Fractions are always going to consist of two numbers. So this is how we write them, as you can see on the board. This top number is called the numerator. Now, whatever I write on the board, you need to write in your math folder so that you have these as notes. So right here, where I wrote numerator, put that in your math folder. And this bottom number is called denominator. So make sure you write that word down as well. These are very important words. So what's the top number? Yep, numerator. And the bottom number is the denominator. We're going to talk about adding and subtracting fractions. First, we're going to say some pretty simple fractions. 1 over 2 and 3 over 2. To add two fractions with the same denominator, so as you can see, both denominators are 2, all you have to do is add the numerators, or the top number, and place the sum of those two numerators over the common denominator. So 1 plus 3 is, very good, 4 over 2. We're not going to worry about reducing these fractions yet. We're going to work on that later this week. So now I want everyone to do the problem that I'm writing on the board. 4 over 6 plus 7 over 6. Remember, if they have the same denominators, add the numerators and put the sum over the common denominator. Okay, the answer is 11 for the numerator and 6 for the denominator. If you got that right, put a check right next to it. Now we're going to talk about subtracting fractions with the same denominator. So once again, if you have the same denominator, all you have to do is subtract the numerators and place that difference over the common denominator. So I'm going to write a problem on the board, and you all copy this problem and try to do it in your math folder. Okay, try this problem. All right, the answer is 1 over 3, or 1/3. How many of you got that? Raise your hand. Oh wow, looks like everyone got it. Okay, we're going to do a worksheet a little bit later after lunch, so try to remember these. We're now going to talk about if the denominators are not the same. How do we add and subtract those fractions? If two fractions have different numerators and different denominators, it can be difficult to determine which fraction is larger. Some of our worksheets will be subtracting and adding, but right now we're going to talk about comparing them. So I may say, which fraction is larger? It's easier to determine which is larger if both fractions have the same denominator. So I'm going to write one on the board again. So we have 1 over 6 and 2, nope, I'm sorry, and 4 over 12. Which one do you think is larger? Okay, I'm going to show you how to figure this out. Multiply the numerator and the denominator of one fraction by the same number, so both fractions will have the same denominator. Now I'm going to give you an example. If we have 5 over 12 and 1 over 3, and we're trying to compare these two fractions, 1 over 3 should be multiplied by 4 over 4. It does not change the value of 1 over 3 to be multiplied by 4 over 4 because 4 over 4 is equal to 1, and we've already talked about that. Any number multiplied by 1 is still the same number. After the multiplication, 1 over 3 times 4 over 4, we have 4 over 12. So now we can make the comparison between 5 over 12 and 4 over 12. All we have to do is look at the numerator and see which one is bigger. Is 5 bigger or 4 bigger? Correct, 5 is bigger. So back to the original example, 5 over 12 is more than 1 over 3. Sometimes you may have to multiply both fractions by different numbers to produce the same denominator for both fractions. For example, if we have, and copy this down, 2 over 3 and 3 over 4, and we want to compare them, we have to multiply 2 over 3 by 4 over 4 to get 8 over 12, and then we have to multiply 3 over 4 by 3 over 3 to get 9 over 12. And now we can compare 9 over 12 to 8 over 12, and we know that 9 is greater than 8, and so there we have our answer. The fraction with the larger numerator is the larger fraction if the denominators are the same. We're going to come back to this later. I wanted to review some of what we talked about in our science class yesterday and make sure that you didn't have any questions. If you remember, you went to Miss Brown's class for rotations and she talked about matter. This is going to be on your end of the year test, so I really want to make sure that everyone understands it. Matter is the stuff around you. Matter is everything around you. Anything that's made up of atoms and molecules, remember, those are two of your key words. Matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. If you don't remember, or this is the first time you've heard of the idea of mass, mass is the amount of stuff in an object. We can talk about the difference between mass and weight in another section. Right now, we just want to talk about matter. And matter is sometimes related to light or electromagnetic radiation. But even though matter can be found all over the universe, you can only find it in a few forms. As of 1995, scientists have identified 5 physical states of matter. Each of those states is sometimes called a phase. So we may say phases of matter or states of matter. And maybe by the time that you are old, scientists will have discovered another state or another phase. You should know about solids and liquids and gases because we covered those in 3rd grade. But there's 2 more that we're going to talk about. One state is called plasma, and another one is called the Bose-Einstein condensate, which many times is written BEC. Scientists have always known about solids and liquids and gases, and you guys already know about those. But plasma was a new idea when it was noticed by a scientist in 1879. And the scientists who worked with the Bose-Einstein condensate actually received a Nobel Prize for for their work in 1995. And now you're probably wondering what makes a state of matter. It's about the physical state of the molecules and atoms. Once again, keywords. So think about solids. They're often hard and brittle. Liquids are fluidy and move around at room temperature. Gases are there, but you usually smell them before you can see them. You don't see them because their molecules are really far apart from each other. The Bose-Einstein condensate is all about molecules that are really, really close to each other, even closer than atoms in a solid. Does anyone have questions about those? Make sure you write down the 5 states of matter. You need to know how to spell solid, liquid, gas, plasma, and Bose-Einstein condensate. You cannot write BEC, okay? You have to spell out the entire word. And remember that there's a hyphen in between Bose and Einstein because those are the 2 names of the scientists. All right, everyone. It's about time for recess. You can have some silent reading time for the next 4 minutes, and then we're going to go out to recess.